Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a necklace and a pair of earrings today using some of the contents from the latest bargain bead box called Summer Sunrise, the June 2023 edition. In case you're not familiar, Bargain Bead Box is a monthly subscription of beads and findings. It's $19.49 a month, and that includes shipping in the United States. They have beautiful beads and findings. It's always curated around a different theme each month. And if you're a subscriber to the Bargain Bead Box, you get a 30% off coupon to use in their sister store, Bead Box Bargains. And they already have great prices. I have a coupon code. It's Teresa2, and I'll put it on the screen here and in the description box below, along with a link to the page to sign up for the subscription if you're interested. The coupon code will save you $2 off your first box if you sign up. In here I have the 5.5 millimeter crystal English cut faceted round beads in goldenrod AB. In here I have the 8 millimeter matte deep orange crackle agate round beads. In here I have the 4 millimeter crystal bicone beads in magma AB. Here I have the 33 by 32 millimeter 18 karat gold plated brass and cubic zirconia sun pendant. In here I have some findings. I have my lobster clasp and the chain that came in the box, some jump rings. Oh, I've got 2 lobster clasps in there. I don't need both of them. I was trying to decide which size I wanted. I've got an extender chain and a ball head pin and one of the bicones that I'm going to dangle off the extender chain as a dangle. And here I've got the spacer beads that came in the box. I've got some from my stash. These are 2 millimeter Druck beads. They're the color is California Gold. I'm going to use those kind of sort of as an accent color. In here I've got what I'm going to use for my earrings. I've got a couple of the English cut beads and a couple of the crackle agate beads, some jump rings, some of the 2 millimeter Druck beads, just a couple of fishhook ear wires, and the 17.5 by 15.5 millimeter 18 karat gold plated brass sun charms. And I've got some of my 22 gauge German style wire in gold. I've got my tweezer pliers and my chain nose pliers. I'm going to be using both pairs of my bent chain nose pliers. I'm going to be using my cutters and my crimping pliers, and I'm not going to be doing any crimping, but I use the little part at the end there, the little circular part on each side, to tuck in the burrs when I cut off the wire, the burrs that are left. And I have my little New Orleans shot glass that I'm going to use to put my wires in when I cut them off. And I think that's everything. I'll put links to everything I can find links for in the description box below, in case you all want to check some of it out. So hold on, let me get some of my beads poured out and I'll be back. Okay, I've got some of my beads out here now, and I realized when I went over my tools, I completely forgot about my round nose pliers. They're quite essential to what I'm going to be doing here because I'm going to be making some wire wrap loops. I'm going to take one of my pieces of German style wire, go down about 1.5 inches, make a 90-degree angle over the tool, or bend at a 90-degree angle over the tool. Take my round nose pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Round nose pliers facing me. I bend the wire back until it hits the tool. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Hold on tight and take the shorter piece of wire up and under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. And that usually puts your little piece of wire there at a real steep angle. I'm going to take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Take the shorter piece of wire and wrap it around the longer piece of wire about 3 times. I'm going to take my cutters and cut off the extra wire. Now I'm going to take a bicone, one of my little drop beads, one of my English cut beads, one of my little drop beads, and a bicone. Take my pliers, go to the very tip of the pliers because I don't want a very long neck. Bend the wire over the tool at a 90-degree angle. Take my round nose pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Round nose pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the beads. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Hold on tight and take this part up and under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the beads. Take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. I'm going to hold really tight. And take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. And you want to get that first wrap really good and tight. And then just keep wrapping until there's no more room to wrap. I'm going to take my cutters and cut off my extra wire. I'm going to take my crimping pliers and go on that little part at the end that has the half circle on each side. I'm going to tuck in my wire or the burr that's left when I cut off the wire. You want to be very careful when you do this because if you're not careful, you'll crack that little bicone on the end or whatever your bead is on the end. Okay, so now I'm going to take another piece of my wire, take my pliers, go down about 1.5 inches, bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle, take my round nose pliers and put them in the crook of the bend, round nose pliers facing me, bend the wire back until it hits the tool, rotate the pliers till they're facing the table, take the shorter piece up and under here until it hits the bottom of the tool, cock the loop back until it's centered over the wire. Now this time I'm going to open my loop just a little bit. Thread on the length that I already made. Close my loop. I'm going to take my chain nose pliers, hold on to my loop, bend the shorter piece of wire around the longer piece of wire about 3 times. Cut off the extra wire. Now I'm going to take one of my little drop beads, an English cut bead, and a spacer bead. One of my agate beads, a spacer bead, English cut bead, one of my little drop beads. I'm going to take my pliers, straighten up my loop down here. They just almost are always not straight. They want to misbehave. Now I'm going to go to the very tip of my plier. Bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle. Around those pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Around those pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the beads. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this piece and hold on tight and take it up and under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the beads. Take my chain or bent chain nose pliers. My other pair of bent chain nose pliers. And start to wrap, but getting that first wrap really good and tight. And just keep wrapping until there's no more room to wrap. Take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. Take my crimping pliers, and if you're using something like a little bitty drug like I am, or a seed bead or something, you really want to be careful here when you're tucking in your wires, because they will break really easy. Just tuck them in really gently. So now I'm going to take another piece of my wire. At about 1.5 inches. Make a 90-degree bend. Around those pliers in the crook of the bend, around those pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the tool. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take the shorter piece of wire up and under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. Open my loop. Thread on the last little link that I made. Close my loop. Take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bend the shorter piece of wire around the longer piece of wire about 3 times. Cut off my extra wire. Now I'm going to take a bicone, a drug bead, English cut bead, drug bead, and a bicone. Take my pliers, go to the tip of the pliers, straighten up my loop down here because I just don't want to be straight. Go to the tip of the pliers, make a 90-degree bend over the pliers. Around those pliers in the crook of the bend, around those pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the beads. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Hold on tight. Take this part up and under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the beads. Take my bent chain nose pliers, my other pair of bent chain nose pliers, and start to wrap. The first wrap really good and tight, and then just wrap till there's no more room to wrap. I'm going to take my cutters, cut off the extra wire, take my crimping pliers, squish in the little burr that's left. So that's what I've got now. So I'm just going to keep doing this, alternating between a length like this and a length like this until I get the length that I want. And I'm going to do the same thing on both sides. And then when I get it all done, I'll come back and we'll put it together. Okay, I've got both sides of my necklace done now. I'm going to put it together. So I've got a 6mm jump ring here. Then I'm going to open up. Thread on my one side of my necklace. A little pendant. And the other side of my necklace. Make sure to get it closed up really well. So that's what I've got now, and I'm going to go down here and add a little bit of chain. I've got a couple of pieces of chain. These are just about 2 inches each. And I've got a 4mm jump ring. I'm going to take my one side of my necklace, thread on my little piece of chain, close up my jump ring, I'm going to take another 4mm jump ring, open it up, thread on my necklace, thread on my other piece of chain, well, it just doesn't want to go on there if I do it with my left hand. I'm going to have to do it with my right hand. My left hand just does not want to cooperate very much. Okay. Now I'm going to take another 6mm jump ring. Get my links untwisted here. They've got twisted on me. There we go. Take another 6mm jump ring. Open it up. Thread on my chain and my lobster clasp. And I'm going to take an 8mm jump ring. Thread on the other side of my chain. And my extender chain. This is about a 2-inch piece of extender chain. So now I'm going to make a little dangle to go on my extender chain. Take a ball head pin and one of my little bicones. I'm going to go to the tip of the pliers, make a 90-degree bend. Round those pliers in the crook of the bend. Round those pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Hold on tight. Take this part up and under until it hits the bottom of the pliers. Cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. I'm not going to forget this time. I'm going to open my little loop. Thread on my extender chain. Close my loop. I bent chain those pliers. Hold on to my loop. My other pair, bent chain those pliers and start to wrap. Get the first wrap good and tight. Just wrap till there's no more room to wrap. I'm going to take my cutters and cut off my extra wire. Take my crimping pliers, squish them a little burr that's left. So that's my necklace. Now I'm going to get my stuff together and make a little pair of earrings. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to make a little earring now. So I'm going to take another piece of my German style wire. I'm going to go down about 1.5 inches. Make a 90-degree bend. I'm going to round those pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Round those pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the tool. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take the short piece up and under until it hits the bottom of the tool. Cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. Take my bent chain those pliers. Wrap the shorter piece of wire around the longer piece of wire about 3 times. Take my cutters. Cut off the extra wire. I need to cut it off just a tiny bit more than that. Now I'm going to put one of my agate beads on. Spacer. English cut bead. On my little drug beads. I go to the end of the tip of the pliers. Bend at a 90-degree angle. Round those pliers in the crook of the bend. Round those pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the beads. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Hold on tight and take this part up and under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the beads. My bench and those pliers. Hold on to my loop. Other bench and nose pliers. Start to do my wraps. Get the first strap good and tight. Just wrap till there's no more room to wrap. Take my cutters and cut off the extra wire. My crimping pliers. Very gently tuck in my little burr. Now I'm going to take my, I've got a 4mm jump ring here. I'm going to open it up. I can figure out where the slit is in it. I'll put it on the bottom of my earring. I'll thread on my little charm here. And close my jump ring back. I'm going to take my ear wire, open it up, thread on my earring, and I did that wrong because it's not hanging right. I don't know, I don't think it's hanging right. Well, I think it would be hanging right if I had put it on the right way. I put it on backwards. I just need to turn it around here, I think. Yeah, that's right. There's my little earring. So now I'm going to make the other one off camera and then I'll be back. Okay, there's my first necklace and pair of earrings made with some of the contents of the newest bargain bead box, the Summer Sunrise collection. I'm sure there'll be many more to follow. Like I said, if you're not subscribed to the box and you decide you want to be, that coupon code will save you $2 off your first box if you sign up. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook and Instagram and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope y'all have a great day. Take care.